Love it. I'm here for it.
Hey everybody, welcome to Roughing the Potter. Week 7 is upon us, and how are you feeling about it, Dreo?
I am ready to be hurt again. Steelers run by, did not have any, painful football games to watch last week. So yeah, just ready to get my hopes up for the Steelers to disappoint me again. Let's get after it.
Let's hop right into it. Thursday night, we're going to the Dome in New Orleans. Jaguars taking on the Saints. We don't know if Trevor Lawrence is going to play. It sounds like it's kind of leaning towards yes. Jaguars are 1-point underdogs going to New Orleans.
I like this game actually. Gonna be a fun Amazon Prime whatever showcase on Thursday, but I don't know, man. The Jaguars have are a fun team to watch, and the Saints are, they're doing okay this year, but they're always gonna compete. They got a good defense. I think this will be a good head to head. Hopefully, T-Law is healthy.
Yeah, I hope he's healthy too. It's always tough on the quick turnaround games for Thursday night. Think that the Saints are going to get exposed on national TV for the terrible offense that they have. Jaguars are rolling, and Saints defense kind of on its heels after the Texans kind of put them on blast last week. So hopefully, hey, Jaguars, go get us the win. If everyone in the NFC South loses, the Panthers will gain some ground this weekend.
I was just looking at the standings. He got a lot of ground to gain, man. Damn.
Well, we'll talk about it at some point, but there's a new play caller in Charlotte now. Um,
Uh-oh.
so we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Next game, Sunday slate. We finally are moving on from Europe for now. I know that the Germany games are coming up. So back to normal noon central, 1 p.m. Eastern start times, whatever that is for you, 10 a.m. Browns at Colts. Browns favored by 1.5 points in Indy after coming off their huge win against the San Francisco 49ers. We don't know if Deshaun Watson's going to play, but we do know that Anthony Richardson is not going to play for the Colts. Jim Irsay drunkenly probably got on a radio show the other day. I don't know where it came from, but he said that Anthony Richardson is probably going to be out for the season after getting shoulder surgery.
That sucks. That's really sad for him, but probably the right call. I mean, I think it's his throwing shoulder, right? So you don't want to rush anything back for, even though he doesn't really throw the ball much and just needs to truck people, run for 2 touchdowns a game. But um, yeah, that's gonna be less interesting because maybe Deshaun misses it too, and you're gonna see I couldn't even tell you who the backup quarterback is for the if it's going to be your boy again versus
PJ
Gardner
Walker.
Minshew. Yeah, PJ versus Minshew mania potentially on Sunday morning football.
Never sleep on Philip Walker unless it's his second game in a row. Then he might throw a bunch of picks. I don't know. I might like the Colts in this spot if I were betting on it, but this game is way too ass to bet on. We will
This
keep going. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say this game turned into like if you're watching or if you were preparing for it from the beginning of the season, the Anthony Richardson, Deshaun Watson showdown, the Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb showdown. But no, we're gonna see PJ Walker, Gardner Minshew, Jerome Ford, who's a low key baller, and Zach Moss, my guy, out snap and out score Jonathan Taylor in fantasy again. I
Good thing
hope.
they signed Jonathan Taylor to the 14 million a year. Also, Anthony Richardson, as predicted, mirroring Cam Newton's career, expedited version of it. Same potential shoulder surgery situation. Tough for him because he so much of what he does is his arm strength and being able to like throw it off platform and all that. So yikes. Um, we'll keep going. The show is just turning into like taking a shot of every game and just moving on to the next one. You get the hot takes and then we go. We don't spend a lot of time on anything.
No
Bills
wasted
at
breaths.
Yeah. No, I think that it's better that way. That's how we carve our niche to all of our 10 listeners. Or I guess that would be
We're not in double
pushing
digits yet. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
some point. They'll listen to the tape and they'll be like, damn, they were grinding. Bills at Patriots. Bills coming off that struggle bus win against the Giants and Tyrod, going to New England, who is just absolutely terrible. There's no way that this goes any other way but the Bills absolutely destroying them, right?
I mean, that's what we said about the Bills versus the Giants, but you saw what happened there. I think Belichick is going to keep it scrappy. The Bills aren't super healthy and they play down to their competition. I think whatever the spread is to this game, if it's a double digit, it looks like it's 8.5 Buffalo. Honestly, I might take the Pats plus 8.5. I think the Bills will still win, but maybe another ugly showing from them at New England.
Weirdly enough, it looks like it opened at 3.5, which is kind of crazy, all considering. But I read something somewhere that Bill Belichick is actually closer to breaking the record for all-time losses as a head coach than he is to all-time wins. So,
God, he sucks.
yeah, he's
That makes me
terrible.
happy. What a bad coach. I don't know what the Pats are thinking. But
Yeah,
honestly, what would it take this year for New England to move on from Belichick? Like, do
I
they
don't
have to
think
go one in 15, like 1 in 16?
I don't think they would move on from him. I think he has to make the decision himself, and until it got to a point of where he was just being stubborn and they had to make a move, but it's really like they're going to let him make that choice. He's earned that right, I feel like.
I agree. I agree. As much as I would love to see him get canned, that's not going to happen.
Come coach Texas A&M, Billy. Um, moving on. Raiders at Bears. The Raiders are going to win 3 games in a row. Justin Fields is not going to play in this game. Raiders favored by 3 in Chicago. Maybe one of the worst teams ever that's going to be, what are they going to be, 4-3 after this? I mean,
That's crazy because, like, compared to KC, the Chargers, and Denver, I mean, you would think Vegas would be right at the bottom of the AFC West standings, but yeah, they have a really good shot to beat the backup quarterback slash backup running back slash backup. I mean, Bears are just shambles, I think, right now, especially with Fields going down with the thumb thing. Um, I heard he popped it in during the game and tried to keep playing.
oh,
Did you see that? That's not
no,
good.
I didn't see that. It's best to just let him chill out a little bit. It seems like the Bears could do something where they bring someone in to like have a spot start, like Nathan Peterman, I think was the name that came up. But like, I don't know, like
Wow.
how do you throw this undrafted rookie from like a community college into this game to start?
How is there not more backup quarterback talent to where guys like Jim Nugent are starting for the Chicago Bears? Like, I don't even know the guy's name, but is it really not that, you know, you have all these D1 athletes that go to the practice squads, go to the league, and then somehow you end up with someone who's never seen an NFL football starting uh, in a game like this. It's crazy.
Coaches are stubborn. They like their guys and they don't like the guys they don't like. I don't know. It is weird. It is crazy. It'll never make any sense. But hey, you can always call up RG3. It sounds like he's getting calls left and right. So he's just denying all of them, apparently.
Yeah, him and
Um,
Cam Newton both.
yeah, exactly. Oh, Cam, just retire. Commanders at Giants. This is kind of interesting. I don't think Tyrod Taylor can put 2 solid games back to back. Commanders defense looked better last week. I think the Commanders cover this one. They're favored by 1.5 going to New York.
I like the Commanders. I like all the weapons. Ryan Robinson, McLaurin, your Curtis Samuel man. I don't know. They seem like they're on the right track. They got the new offensive coordinator. Maybe they're a little bit underperforming this year. The defense has not been as dominant as expected, but I think I mean they're in a tough division with Philly and Dallas, so they're probably not going to take it over from either one of those two. But steady on the up and up. And then all they need is a new name to go along with the new owner, and they'll be a real franchise.
Yeah. It'll be funny to see them change their name again. They definitely have to go with like the Warhogs or something like that. I
What
don't
what's it? Do we know what's in the running?
know. Who
Is there
knows?
a poll?
Not that I know of. It's probably going to come in the off season. Hype them up.
Dude, you
And
weren't kidding. I just looked at it and Red Hogs was one of the things. Or is
yeah, because
that real?
they used to wear like the pig masks when they were the
Oh my God.
I don't remember. It was something with their defense or something back in the 80s or 90s. I don't know. But moving on, we got Falcons at Buccaneers, NFC South matchup here. Falcons coming off a pretty bad loss to the Commanders, like we just spoke about. Desmond Ridder looks like absolute shit. Buccaneers coming off the loss at home to the Lions. This looks like a good spot for them to bounce back. However, it is a divisional game, and both of these teams are kind of mid. It's a mid off for sure. What do you think?
I don't know who gets the edge here because I like Mayfield over Ritter. I like Bijan over whoever the running back is now for the Bucks because Rashad White is not doing hardly anything this year. Receivers are pretty even. I think it's going to be like a 10-7, 10-6 ball game with whoever turns the ball over less will win the game. I'll take Bucks. I'll take the Bucks in this one at home.
I, I like it. I like the under in that game for sure. It seems like Baker might have been exposed. It seems like Ritter might have been exposed. Maybe both of these guys are exposed. They both have pretty good defenses. Obviously divisional matchup. Coaches know each other well. Let's take that one as an under. Circle it. Next game though,
Hey,
pretty
wait.
much.
Before we move, did someone say something in a group chat yesterday or the day before about Bijan being a bust? Is
Yeah,
that is that something we got to start talking about?
that was Tom Ag, and he says a lot of things. So I wouldn't put too much stock into it.
Yeah, Bijan, man, that guy has been everything we expected on the shittiest team in football. One of.
Yeah. I mean, you take a running back that early. We'll see what happens. He might have like a solid 4 years and then he'll fall off the face of the earth. Best game of the day coming up. The last game in the noon slot line, or sorry, I guess the early game slot. Lions Ravens. Ravens favored at home by 3 points. That feels a little trappy. Feels like a lot of people are going to be on the Lions. I don't know. This could be a really good game, and I feel like for either team, it's not the end of the world if they lose, but it says a lot about them if they win.
This is going to be exciting. I think this might be the game that I will spend the most time on, as opposed to keeping it on red zone the whole time. I like the Lions. I like what they're doing. I don't think they're the kind of team that's gonna have a 2 or 3 loss season. I think they're gonna have some growing pains, especially with maybe both of their running backs being out this week. And Baltimore's defense is no joke. So if Lamar can play semi-efficiently, I could definitely see Baltimore spoiling the Detroit Lions parade. There's been a lot of hype around them over the past few weeks, deservedly so. But yeah, I might take the Ravens in this one.
I like that. I like the Ravens in this one. There's a lot of hype on the Lions. This line is very fishy. It seems like it's trying to bait people into betting on the Lions. And, it's about time Lamar Jackson had to go the fuck off game. I feel like this could be it at home. But that'll be a fun watch. That's an exciting game. It's like the first week of the season where you start to see teams that are good play each other, and you're like, oh, that's a good matchup. Like we know these two teams are pretty good. Like this is going to be fun to watch for sure. So we've gotten to that point in the season, I feel. Before we get into afternoon games, we got 6 teams on bye. Tennessee Titans, New York Jets, Cincinnati Bengals, Carolina Panthers, Dallas Cowboys, and Houston Texans. Interesting for the Panthers, as mentioned earlier, Frank Reich announces that he is passing off play calling to offensive coordinator Thomas Brown, who came from the Sean McVay tree. We'll see if his play calling can make any difference for one of the worst offenses in history and flip around the 0-6 Carolina Panthers, who have a softer schedule coming up. Anything on those other teams? It's a week for Joe Burrow to get healthy.
That's true. I was gonna say, what's his name? Panthers coach is doing pulling a Jimbo Fisher, relinquishing the play calling duties. Yeah, so
So
y'all are gonna drop 50 points and then all out. Is that the plan?
it was always the plan for him to hand off play calling, but it was veiled as to when it was going to happen. Like from when they hired the offense coordinator, he didn't have familiarity with him, but they respected him in the interviews. So they said, like, I don't know this guy. I'm not just going to let him call plays until I like respect him and understand what he's going to do and trust him. And they're trying to say that now he does, but at the same time, if this team was 4-2, 5-1, there's no fucking way they'd be changing play callers at the bye week. So
No, absolutely not.
it is interesting. I think that they will look better, and Frank Reich can focus on other things like managing the game, time management, all that stuff. But also, we can talk about last night's game. Cowboys took on the Chargers. There's that fake Chargers fan that they planted in the stands, which was really weird. Dak Prescott looked pretty good too.
Yeah, he looked mobile. He looked like he could move around a little bit. We haven't seen that side of Dak in a while with the injuries that he's dealt with. I think though that the Chargers and especially Herbert, who doesn't get a lot of flack, kind of sold in that game. He had plenty of opportunities to hit wide open guys down the field, and
Yep.
I love Herbie, and I will defend him, forever compared to his coaching and the defense, because he's been on some really good offenses paired with some terrible defenses. But that one was on him, I think, and he owned up to it. But Herbie's got to start. He's got to start winning some football games before people crown him as a top 5 quarterback. Right now, I think his record I saw was like 27-28 as a starter, which is for someone that you would say is top 5 quarterback. I don't think that's going to cut it, no matter how bad your defense is.
He looks the part. And I said this 2 years ago and got absolutely clowned for it. But I said that the way his career is lining up with his physical talent, his stature, everything, but ultimately lack of results is kind of similar to the Carson Wentz thing. So I'm not saying he's Carson Wentz. I'm not going to say he's going to fall off the face of the earth, but they look the part. They're big dudes. There's no reason why they shouldn't be winning every game and being in the MVP conversation every year. And he's just not. And it might be a Brandon Staley thing, but until we see him with another coach, we won't know. So I don't know. That's my take. I think that maybe there's a little Carson Wentz potential there with Justin Herbert.
There was a stat, and I probably won't be able to find it to counteract what you're saying, but it was something about quarterback win percentages when defenses held the teams under 20 or so points. And Herbert was like up there at like 90 to 95%. So if their defense does their job, Herbert's winning those games. It's hard to have a 30 to 40 point shootout all these times that the Chargers somehow find a way to fumble around at the end. But yeah, clock is going to start ticking with him as it is with Josh Allen in terms of, winning. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah, tough start for the Chargers. I mean, they always find themselves in close games and they always find a way to blow it in the end. I mean, Brandon Staley not kicking the field goal when they were down by 3 in the first half, and the play call. It's like you either get up and you QB sneak that on the 4th and 1, or you kick the field goal and tie the game. It's too early to be going for it for the extra 4 points, in my opinion. Very analytical. I don't see him making it past this year. There's a few coaches. We could probably start talking about it next week, which coaches are going to be on the chopping block. But we'll
Matt
move
Canada.
on. Yeah. We'll move on to the afternoon games. Games are not that great this week, I got to say. Cardinals at Seahawks. Seahawks at home favored by 7.5. Cardinals, the wheels are falling off. They play everyone tough, but at the end of the day, they're not going to win many games.
Yeah, don't love it. I think they showed some promise and beating the Cowboys was phenomenal, but they're kind of where we thought they were going to end up, struggling. not really like maybe trying to compete as much this year. I'd be surprised if we even see Kyler Murray come back. If they have a 1-8 record down the line. But the Seahawks are also kind of underwhelming as well. Like they played the Bengals close. They're 3-2. They have talent on the offensive side of the ball. I feel like Geno is kind of regressed maybe a little bit from last year.
Yeah.
Um, but they're a team I think is on the cusp of being, a playoff competitor, but they could easily fall out of that mix if they don't put things together.
Yeah. Divisional game. It might be a little closer. I mean, it was Jonathan Gannon's first time matching up with Pete Carroll, so not a lot of familiarity there, but we will see. Seahawks are kind of very up and down. They look like a 9-8 team that's gonna, one week they're gonna look great, the next week they're gonna look like shit. Speaking of looking like shit one week and looking great the other, we've got Steelers at Rams.
Wait,
Rams
when have
favored
we
by
looked great? when have we looked great this year?
so well, maybe not this year. Usually that's how it goes. You guys are very just like up and down. But
I would
Rams,
I would say ugly wins have definitely been our mantra this year.
it's no fun. Rams -3 at home.
Dude, should I go to that game? It's in LA. I didn't
Yeah,
realize that.
why wouldn't you? It's in LA and it's going to be all Steelers fans there.
Yeah, it really will be. Dude, the problem with SoFi, those tickets are so expensive.
I'm
Like,
sure.
especially the Rams. A Chargers game is a little bit more affordable, but like, man, I'm just looking at the tickets right now after seeing that.
Actually, Billy
I'm
Big
gonna
Shot's
think
going
on
to
that.
that game.
Oh,
He's a
is he?
world traveler. Yeah, he's going to every game. He's going to games in Seattle and London and LA.
London, yeah. Damn, I might hit him up, see if we can make some noise for Agnox over there.
Yeah, you might as well. Make some noise for RTP, baby. Um, yeah, not much to say on that one from my side. I mean, I think that the Rams look a lot better than we thought they would this year, and they're kind of keeping it rolling. If Stafford can stay healthy, they're going to be a playoff team.
Might give up if there's a over prop for Cooper Cup receiving yards or touchdowns, smash that. You have
Okay.
to smash that. I think we gave up 200 plus yards and a touchdown to Nico Collins in the Texans game, and maybe 16 to 18 catches for Devontae Adams in the Ravens or the Raiders game. So any Cooper Cup props you've got to hit.
I like it. You know what I did last week, so let me do it again. I'm going to trust your fandom there. Um, all right, yeah, no, I mean that should be a decent game. I could see that being a fun one. Next up, we've got Packers at Broncos. Packers favored by 1. This opened at Broncos -3.5 somehow, some way. I can't imagine the Broncos winning this game, but the NFL is the NFL. I don't know. It sounds like the Packers might be getting Aaron Jones back this week. Huge for their offense, huge for Jordan Love, and the Broncos are just ass.
Go Pack, go! I hope Aaron Jones is healthy. He's been waiting patiently on my fantasy bench for a few weeks, but after like dropping 25 in week 1. So not trying to make it all about fantasy, but that will definitely help Jordan Love out, who's kind of, you remember we were crowning Jordan Love after a few
Yeah.
weeks. He's kind of fallen back to earth.
We were scared. It'll be interesting to have all these time capsules of our immediate overreactions to things week to week, and then just like listening back and being like, "Oh yeah, this happens every year." But yeah, Jordan Love back to earth. He scared us for a second, made us think that they had another Hall of Fame quarterback. It doesn't seem like that is the case to this point. All right, next game. Chargers at Chiefs. This will be a good one. This is probably the second best of the non-primetime games this week. Chargers obviously coming off that Monday night loss to the Cowboys at home. Chiefs favored by 5.5 at home. In this one, Chiefs usually tend to struggle against the Chargers. Patrick Mahomes tends to throw a lot of picks, low-scoring games. In the past, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case again. I would take the under in this one, and it feels like the Chiefs are just going to keep on rolling. This is a big game for them to kind of like win the division in week 7.
I might go the other way. I'm looking at the Chiefs'
Ooh.
schedule. So the Chiefs' last four, they've won five in a row since losing to the Lions. Their last four games, I'm gonna exclude the fifth one because it doesn't fit my narrative. Um, they beat the Broncos, they beat the Vikings, they beat the Jets, and they beat the Bears. So they haven't played a lot of tough competition recently, and they played all of these games close, like within 10 points. 11-point dub against the Broncos, 7 for Minnesota, 3 against the Jets. They smoked the Bears, but that was the Taylor Swift game, so that one also doesn't count. But Chargers and the Chiefs always play each other close. Somehow it seems like Travis Kelce always has a game-winning touchdown at the end to just rip the hearts and souls out of the Chargers fans. But I think Herbie can get it done. I hope they can put something together and make up for their loss against the Cowboys. So yeah, I'm gonna go against the grain for this one.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that either team could win the game. I'm mostly what I think is that this is going to be a low scoring game. I've had Patrick Mahomes almost every year in fantasy, and almost every single year he throws like 2 interceptions against the Chargers and scores like 12 points. So in a year where they don't have a lot of weapons, that's probably going to be amplified. Um, Last game of Sunday night football. This one is going to be hype. This is going to be a great Sunday night football game. We've got the Dolphins traveling to Philly, Eagles favored by 2 at home, coming off the first loss of the season. Dolphins have been steamrolling everyone. They only lost the Bills. This is going to be a huge matchup. Again, if the Eagles, well, it's kind of in the same vein of Lions Ravens. Whoever wins this game, you're going to take them extremely seriously for the rest of the year. Whoever loses this game, you're looking at the Dolphins and you're thinking, oh, maybe they're fraudulent. Whenever they play good teams, they lose. You're looking at the Eagles and saying, oh shit, you just lost 2 in a row. What's going on over there? Ultimately, I don't think that it's going to have a huge effect on each team's season, but huge game, potential Super Bowl preview, question mark.
That's exciting. I'm looking forward to this game. Definitely, there's been a couple snoozers on Sunday Night Football over the past few weeks, so it's nice to get two dominant teams. They're both 5-1. Eagles coming off the loss, but like you said, I think they're both top of the top in terms of contenders, AFC versus NFC. Also, the Alabama showdown. I guarantee you they're going to talk about that 15 times during the game.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. It's 2 in a row for the Dolphins. Bryce Young and now Jalen Hurts. But it just honestly, every time I watch Jalen Hurts like ball the fuck out or make a huge play in the NFL, I'm always like, I go back to college when we were watching him play, and we were just like, oh, this is Alabama's worst quarterback. Like maybe it's time
Yeah.
they're falling apart now. And he got benched in the national championship game, has to transfer and goes and has a pretty good season under Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. Gets drafted in the second round. You never think you're going to hear from this guy again. He never really played like an NFL quarterback in college. And look at what he's doing. It's just nuts. I mean, he had a shitty game last week, but it's just crazy to think about it. I don't know. You just never know what's going to happen in the NFL.
Jalen Hurts might have had the most underratedly good throw I've ever seen from a quarterback this weekend. I mean, they lost and he threw 3 picks, but did you see the play where he had a defensive lineman or linebacker like draped on him for like 3 seconds and still just ripped it to the sideline to AJ Brown? It was like a 20-yard play, but like,
Yeah.
dude, the strength that takes to stay up and just deliver it on a straight line. Oh my gosh.
He's a strong motherfucker. I mean, last night you saw the Cowboys try to do the tush push with Dak, and when other teams do it, it just doesn't work. And it's because Jalen is so fucking strong.
He is so strong. I mean, yeah, squatting 300 pounds. I saw it. I don't know if it was a TikTok or something. It was Jalen Hurts if the QB sneak was not allowed, and it was him working at McDonald's.
Yikes. I mean, it's kind of true. Like, I think so much of their success, and we've harped on this forever, is that they have an extra down. If they get to 3rd and 5, they know that they're getting the first down because all they're going to do is run. And then if you're in 4th and 4, 4th and 3, you can push Jalen over the line pretty easily. So until it
True.
gets someone finds a way to stop it, until someone gets hurt, it's unstoppable. I was actually thinking about this last night because of the Cowboys thing when they tried it. Wouldn't it be interesting if like everyone lined up as if they were gonna do the tush push and then they like fake snapped it and then everyone like ran to different spots, like they reset the formation, making the defense think, oh, they're not going to run that play. They're going to run like an actual regular play. So the defense kind of scrambles, maybe splits the lineup from the middle, and then regular QB sneak. So fake tush push, regular QB sneak could be a successful play that you see in the next couple of weeks. I feel like coaches might be cooking that up.
They the Eagles in one of the early games ran a fake concept out of that formation, but Jalen Hurts tripped out of it. So I think what we thought was going to happen this year too, and like all the teams were going to adopt it and like be super successful with the tush push. They tried, and no one can do it. Like no one can do it as good as the Eagles. So maybe we need some more creativity for those fourth and inches.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's just crazy. Some of these coaches watching what they do on fourth down. It's infuriating. But that will do it. We'll talk about Monday night whenever we recap the Sunday games. We've got a good game in each time slot, so that'll be fun. But definitely go touch grass, enjoy the weather. Don't let football ruin your day. It's a bye week. Let's all relax a little bit. We'll get back to it
I'm,
next week.
I'm gonna say future Matt or future Dreo, if you're listening to this and the Steelers lost and you went to the game, it's not the end of the world. You have more going on with your life besides Pittsburgh Steeler football. Everything's going to be okay. So God bless.
You know what you should do is bet on the Rams to cover the cost of your tickets,
Honestly, yeah.
or like
Not a
half of
bad
it, or
idea.
like the gas or something.
Hedge it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm telling you, hedging
Dude,
against pain is the way to go. That's gonna
looking at
do it
these
for
tickets,
us.
man.
Yeah, that's gonna do it for us over at Roughing the Potter. We're hoping to have some guests on soon, have some more fun, but hopefully our few listeners enjoy some of our breakdowns and hot takes. Thank you guys.
Peace.